Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into This Time Gaming. I'm going a little bit off topic from gaming. I know the channel's been kind of irrelevant lately, and I just felt like adding this one to the channel. So this is gonna be a lot different than what I normally do here. Okay, this one's gonna go into a topic that's a very, very, interesting topic to say the least, because people don't understand where the boundaries are. I'm gonna take you down a whole comment section of people that are just trying to make a point, but are very, very horrible at it. And I'm going to bring it to light as to why a lot of these people are wrong, because they don't understand the perception of how a full grown female woman looks compared to, you know, whatever it is they're looking at. So, and this involves a lot of anime culture, okay? Anime culture has been it's just weird now. It's not something I partake in. I don't watch anime anymore, specifically for this particular reason I'm about to show you. Because there's other multiple factors of why I don't care for anime. It just relays a bad message back to everybody, and I just wanted to go over it here with you guys. So let's break it down and explain what I'm talking about. All right, so we're gonna break this entire thing down here. This started off with Brittany Venti. Shout out to her. She's very, very incredible YouTuber. I watch a lot of her content when she puts it up, because she has a lot of like really interesting concepts that make a lot of sense when she breaks it down. So I listen to a lot of it. But we got a couple people here in the comment section that just are making this into a really, really far-fetched situation that I had to go even further and explore some things myself just to clarify some things. And there's still people here disagreeing with me, like always, because you're going to have that with this group. Now, what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna try to explain some of it a little bit, little by little, and then we'll get into explaining the whole details and why these people are very, very bad at depicting where the lines are and whether when where the lines are drawn actually. Okay, so she put here she's been digging at this for a while. I watched her last time when she did this, but there's this thing called lolicon I didn't know about until she brought it up, and it's basically the example of anime characters that are like super super old, 500-year-olds, and they look like little children. All right, so I'm gonna break down why the way they draw them and the way I would draw them, or the way somebody else looks that's very very short and is a woman. I'm going to break down the difference to you, because a lot of people out there are very, very hard at not understanding this. And there's a lot to this. So let's just begin right now. Okay. So what she said, because of Twitter, I now associate anime profile pics with pedophiles. That's very much true. Actually, you can see right here what she said. It's the whole thing is of people coming in here and commenting, and then they're like, yeah, well, I'm tired. Well, you're hiding behind a picture. First of all, why are you tired of being blamed for that when you're hiding behind a picture? I stated this already past few weeks, is where like people are using anime pictures, and as you can see here, the whole comment section is pretty much anime pictures, but me and Brittany up there. So all right, so I said, I don't know. I just stopped watching it long ago because I became uninterested, because it's almost all the same. As for the blank part, that is kind of something that is noticeable. So I picked up on it a long time ago that there's either a troll behind there or just somebody who's just hiding their whole identity from society and don't want them to know they exist. Because in these two profiles right here are very shady to me, because when you look at them, they have the 18 symbol crossed out, both of them. Okay, so we'll go into explaining. But then you got this. Then you got this guy right here. Funny how the majority of people who think that end up uh this, huh? And I was like, doubt, and he was like, doubt all you want. It's true. Okay, so he's just basically stating what he perceives to be true. All right, and then they're turning around. They're being very facetious, but they won't show their identity. All right, and some of these posts are just unavailable because I had to report them. There's a few people I reported throughout this whole conversation that are just they said some things throughout the conversation that got them in a lot of trouble with me, and it has to be reviewed and looked at as like, hey, is that good for this platform, or is this platform secretly supporting this? And so you come down here. This guy said something, but this guy kept going on and on about this right here. Okay, so I don't know what this thing is right here. They're saying a lot of stuff, but like they're accusing people that aren't hiding themselves as something, but yet they're talking about it at the same time. And they were like, you know why? It's always the same. Reset the clock. And this guy has a -18 anime picture as usual. Speak of dot, not anime, please. And so I basically said that. Oh, somebody ripped my head off for that one. So, the person that ripped my head off, they are actually in the comments here. You'll see them. And I was like, and they were like, it means that they're likely to show up in the reset clock archive and achieve dedicated to log. So they're just busy trying to expose people and trying to make people look bad. So as we go down, you'll see that I have to sit there and explain to these guys what they're actually doing wrong. All right, so um, you're unable to view this post. Somebody blocked me. All right, or some no, I think that was one I reported, or I got blocked or whatever. And so this person right here, lolicons lean on the retarded claim. Everyone who hates us is a pedophile too. As a cope to distract the argument away from themselves, they pretend it's somehow unfathomable that most normal people, ESP women, should be disgusted that they jack off to child cartoon. Okay, so let me clarify something here. As we go down, you'll see why what they're doing is completely and utterly wrong, whether it's cartoon, whether it's not. I stay away from anime because looking at it from a standpoint, I can see where Brittany comes from on this one. So, same for hentai stuff as well. Majority, one end. Yeah, so, uh, just keep going. So, they keep trying to state facts, okay? But why do you guys know so much about this? Why do you guys sit there and actually know so much about all this? And then they're like acting like the thing is what they're doing is they're throwing shade onto a situation. I do not partake in watching anime. I think anime is like really, really degenerate now. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, I did. Okay. I did watch my fair share of anime. So this guy, he's getting himself reviewed every single time he types something. I was like, yeah, you got to be creative with your words. And he's like, it's BS, both piss, and so, and then going down and down and down. He's like, a-holes are probably reporting. No, what you're doing is you're getting yourself into a lot of trouble, and people are seeing what you're doing here, buddy. You're basically trying to you're basically trying to cover yourself up. A lot of these people here, you notice how they all come out, but they never, ever, ever come out from behind those photos. They'll sit behind those photos all day on a profile and not expose themselves to make other people look like they're the advocate of whatever it is that's going on here. All right? Take an example. You'll see it in a crowd of people that just get fed up and rage at you. You'll see it. All right? So, literally, I'm just going to keep scrolling down because as you see, this conversation just went on. Um, so these got muted, okay? So this right here just really threw me for a loop because if you're not okay with accepting something as it is, then you're gonna get yourself in trouble. And these people are so incoherent to not accepting where the line is drawn. All right. So but they're blaming everybody else but themselves. Okay, let me just say this. They look like they I was like, okay, let me just say this. Let me just say they look like they are, take notice to how none of them have, a chest, okay? So if they had a chest, I'm going to be polite here and say that, then they would look like a woman. That would be a midget or a dwarf. So yes, they look like little girls. And I just keep fighting at this, okay? This person here, this weirdo right here, that's has the 18 mark. What are you doing? All right, and then it goes this far, okay? So they try to make it seem like they're in the right, okay? There is no right here. You're basically accepting this as normal, okay? So we're gonna keep going down, okay? Okay. So this to me, this should be the way a 500-year-old woman should look in an anime, okay? Now we go down, all right? Japanese women are not short on average, 5'2". So ones that fall south of the bell curve tend to be very small, non-dwarf proportions, okay? And you go down to the next one. So this person deliberately put this up, and I'm looking at this. I'm like, those are not women, dude. Those have no chest, okay? Look at this lady up here. She has a chest. She has curvy proportions. These right here, these are all children. These are all drawn out children. That's a little kid. That's a kid. That's a little kid, okay? So there is a very big problem here that they can't seem to understand, okay? And these are people who don't get out in real life. So the reason they fight about this is because they want to feel like they're right about something. So I go into the comments, which I don't know if it was right here. I was like, okay, those are not women. Those are little girls. The picture of the midget is full-grown woman. You can call 500-year-old woman and get turned on by her curves in her chest, of course. And this person's like, is 32 and a teacher 2? Is 21 and a game dev 3? Is 42 and a mother of 2? What are you talking about? Also, I don't get. Okay, so you're basically stating that a full-grown woman isn't turning you on. You're getting turned on by literal children. All right, drawn cartoon characters. Okay. I told them, I was like, you need Christ. Okay. Now, why do you want me? It's not that. The point I'm trying to make is like you have a demented mind and you need help. Okay. So I did try to stick a picture up here. I forget where it was. All right, and the last thing I said. Okay, so if you don't get it, then you're part of the issue of the topic at hand. Okay, and I don't know if this is gonna go on, but this has just been going on all day, and I at one point I was like, can you all just be quiet? Can you all remain quiet? Because you're literally driving me up nuts. But I literally put a picture up to show them what a woman dwarf would look like in anime. She was, the woman had a big chest on her, of course, but back in the day when anime first came out, you seen women like Faye Valentine who had a chest. Okay, it's just it's crazy how this has gotten so bad. And I basically stated to somebody in this whole comment section, okay, there's something I broke down and stated to them. Well, let me get back to myself. So the statement was, if you think a woman with no chest is a full-grown adult woman, your perception of a full-grown adult woman is wrong. Okay? The midget is a full-grown adult woman. Okay? Stuff like that. All right. So somebody advertised something to me that was very, very strange, and I somehow don't believe it. Okay? Somebody in this whole comment section put a name in the comments throughout the whole discussion that was going on. This discussion has been going on for like 3 days straight. I'm tired of it. You know, it's like the mental IQ of people are way too low right now, and this just really needs to be taken into consideration and really, really looked at, because if these are the way these people think, there's something definitely wrong there. All right, so we're gonna go into a little bit more detail as to something that I'm gonna clarify here, and we're gonna look at some things, and I'm gonna discuss why certain things look wrong here, and where these guys are probably just absolutely wrong about everything. And think of this as how you want, but there is a mental illness going around that's like this, and it's bad. It's bad, and it's like people don't want to accept the fact that maybe they're in the wrong about something, and it gets to a point where it gets real bad, and that's why I support Brittany Venti's what she's doing with this. But I don't like this kind of stuff, okay? Now, let's go into looking at some images of things that we can break down and I can help you guys understand because there's a line here that really, really needs to be drawn, and I'm going to sit there and show you guys. So, all right. So, somebody in this comment section brought this up to me. Now, okay, looking at this girl and you scroll down, you actually look at images of her, you can see she does not look like she's 28, okay? I'm going to clarify this. But this was the person brought this up in his chat, and I looked at this and I'm like, there's no way she can be 28 because she just looks way, way too young to be considered as 28. But this girl right here, apparently, she is 28 years old. She was born 1995 on October 8th. All right, so let's dig into why I'm saying this, okay? You look at her pictures. This does not look like a 28-year-old. This looks like a 16-year-old kid. All right? This looks like a 16-year-old kid. This looks like a 16-year-old kid. This looks like a 16-year-old kid. Why is it that for somebody like me, there's warning there that I don't want to get near this girl, right? And I don't want to get near this girl because of how old she looks, okay? So, you take a woman who's like American and, you know, an Asian woman in America. All right? All right, Asian women, okay? This, hold on, Asian women in their 20s, okay? Asian women in their 20s, okay? We're going to look up images of Asian women in their 20s. All right, you see where this is all coming off as a let's commit a sexual action towards a person who looks like they are way younger than they should be, okay? This is the idea of what an average 20-some-year-old Asian woman would look like, okay? Now, going back to this image, this looks like a 16-year-old Asian girl, okay? This does not look like a 28-year-old Asian girl. So I think there's a lie about her age because when you look at it, I was at the store today. I saw a woman that was like in her late 20s at the store today here in America that was Asian, and she looked like she was actually 28. She looked cute too. I would have like taken her out on a date. But the thing is right here is this looks very, very bizarre. This does not look like a 28-year-old, and as you can see, it just gets worse and worse as you scroll down. I'm not going to go any further than this, just in case, but as you can see, there's some blurred images. The fact that this is considered as a 28-year-old and this is considered as a 20-year-old here in America says a lot about the standards of where people have trouble drawing the lines. Because even her, she's very pretty. Of course, that's AI. You know, when you look at it, you got really, really attractive women in their 20s here, okay? So where is the problem is that when we look at those pictures, okay? So you can also take a look through here and you can see up close that all these women, they have a chest, okay? Like this woman right here, you can clearly see her chest. You can see the curvature of her lines, stuff like that. And if you keep scrolling down, even her. And there's a dude in that comment section that's just like, ooh, most Asian women are flat chested. And I'm like, no, okay? So let's take a look at something else. All right. Anime mid jets. All right, I'm not trying to be weird here, but okay. So let's look at something here that I'm going to point out. All right. So these all look like little girls. These don't look like midgets. Okay? There's a problem here, okay? That looks like a girl that's too young, all right? Again, we're looking at something here, and I'm breaking down as for where the problem lies, okay? These remotely look like, now, as you can see, her, still, too young. That looks like a little girl, and you can see that the curves are there, okay? And when you look at it, there is a big problem here where full-grown men and full-grown people are accepting this as normal, okay? So, like, for me, for example, if I was to draw one of these out, this right here, to me, I don't know how tall she is, but that looks like she could be a midget that's 500 years old because she has full-grown adult features. If you shrink her down, now I don't know how tall she is in the anime, But if you shrink her down and look at her, you could pull her, you could make her into a midget, and then she would pull off being a full grown adult. All right. So now you can really see just where the problem lies. Like even here, should look that looks like a freaking 16-year-old girl that men are craving over that look like that. Even if it is a cartoon, okay. So the two and back would be ideal. Like you take them and you can shrink them down to this size, and you can see how like I would portray that as this would be. If you shrank her down to the size of her, you could see why I would think that that's normal instead of this, because this is right here. This to me looks like a girl that's way too young. And even as a midget, you still see that they have, right here. These are full grown women in anime, okay? Like and it doesn't make sense how a full grown adult male can mix up the two. All right, so like let's look at anime women, okay? Anime women, okay? These are full-grown adult anime women. I don't watch anime, but I'm bringing this up as an example. Now, her, you can see that she's still, some of these girls they're not really showing their boobs, okay? This right here, I wouldn't even consider this as a woman. Yes, she has the face of a woman, she has the hair of a woman, but there's no chest there. There's no boobs, okay? So, and again, looking at it, her, that's a woman. That's a woman. You can just literally place when there's a woman and when there's a full grown. That's a woman, okay? Like you can see the problem and where I don't understand where the line is that these people are just blurring together, because even here you can see somewhat kind of what's going on. All right. So when it comes down to it, you know, right here another one. That's a woman. That's a woman. This right here, I wouldn't consider this a woman. I wouldn't consider this as a woman. You got to look at it. You got to look at like how the body structure is, okay? So as you can see there, why I would be saying this is a woman, because it's this area right here. All right? This area right here, this area right here, the curves, again, the curves, okay? This again, she has curves, she has a pair of boobs. All right? So all right. So if we go and we look at anime girls. Now, this is where the turning point is, okay? So if we look at this, okay? Anime girl. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is a full-grown adult. This would look like a full-grown adult woman to me. But you see where people are blurring these lines, where they're just having trouble betraying the difference between them. Like, that's a little girl right there. That right there, that's a little girl. I don't know about some of these characters, but by all means, you zoom in on this picture, you're gonna see women. That's a woman. That's a woman. That's a woman. That's a woman. These are all women, okay? And you know what? The one feature about these that you can tell are all women, pretty simple. Curve of the body, the face, the hair, the shadowing of where the boob line, okay? The anime back in the day was always about big-breasted women, no matter what you think about it. When you look at anime from early 2000s to from the 90s, okay? So here's one. Well, now, actually, I'm not going to look that one up because that's just going to be a little, like, that's going to throw off everything I say here. So, but yeah, like, you can obviously see that some of us, some of the people that watch anime have this, like, mental disorder. That she doesn't have boobs. Why would she be considered as a woman? You know? And if I have to clarify, let me go back to the big screen. Nope. Nope. Now, if I have to go back and clarify this through a video, it's because I wanted to get the message out to the masses that there is something going on with this. There is some sort of mental illness with people watching anime, and somebody's been saying it to me, and I fully agree with it. I believe there is some sort of satanic aspect of anime, you know, why is it that in anime, when you look at it, it's always like they're portraying things as much more different? You can see it in the aspect of the hero. The hero is never a big guy that's built for to take on the world or fight people. It's always a really small guy who looks like he can't even fight. And those are normally the guys that will pull out a weapon on you in actual person because they're so afraid of you, you know, and stuff like that. That really, really just needs to be looked at. As for this stuff here in this comment section, this has been going on for 3 days, and I'm completely tired of it. It's like talking to a person that doesn't want to understand your side, but will agree with you on some things, you know. And I'm just done with anime all around because I see a lot of degeneracy coming out of it. You got what do we have here? You have the furry community who watches anime all the time. You got a show called Beastars out there that's promoting like sexuality between two animals, which, again, bestiality, and you can even look at Disney and see some aspects of it too. Disney Beauty and the Beast, okay? It promotes a form of bestiality when it comes down to it. And this is where the problem lies with all of us because the 90s was different than today. Everybody's connected to the internet and everybody sees a lot what's going on the internet, and they try to like really really they get themselves into these spots where they end up like getting confused. And the problem is we need to take ourselves off of the internet to get back to reality of things. And it's unfortunate because the internet's 24/7. You can never not be kicked off the internet. You can be kicked off a website all you want. But these people behind these anime pictures, look out for them because they're always going to be a troll, and they'll always be the same people trying to depict somebody as the bad guy, but they can't, they're too afraid of exposing their face. That's why they're sitting in my comment section just filling up my phone, and I bet if I looked at my phone right now at this very point in time, I would see exactly why I can't stand them. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, my comment section right now is this. Okay, yep. Another that dude put up another comment. And it's like all they want to do is try to prove a point, but they're not going to prove any points because, you know, it's just they don't seem to understand. And the problem is when you don't understand something and you don't want to accept yourself as wrong, you go through every great length to try to prove a point. I'm not hiding my face because I don't watch anime. I play video games and I collect video game memorabilia, but I do not watch anime. And and the stigma behind playing video games and watching anime, it collides together, and that's where I don't get it because I don't watch anime anymore. Now, there are a few people in the video game community that you could find out right now. They complain about it all the time that they don't watch anime, and for some reason, it's supposed to be this stigma where you play video games and you watch anime. I don't understand it. Okay, so again, I'm trying to stay away from, you know, I'm not gonna go after anybody on this subject, preferably, but I will say this: there is definitely something there that really, really needs to be researched and looked into a little bit more deeper. And I'm hoping I can make an impact here. And my statements here go out into the world, and people pay attention to this. This does need to be looked into, and this needs to be considered as a researched and see what's going on. And there's a lot of problems in the world, and this is just one of them. And it wasn't brought up until I saw Brittany Venti talking about it. So shout out to her again about bringing this subject up. I've noticed this for a while, and I've started noticing it, and I started like staying away from anime because I was like, oh wow, you're right. And the people that watch anime, it's not the same as it was back then when it first came out. It's totally different. All right, so just remember that too. All right. Well, anyway, I'm getting out of here. Y'all take it easy. If you like this video, hit like. If you did, hit the subscribe button. Also, if you hit the subscribe button and you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to get more from me, and I'll be seeing you next time. I don't know when the next video will be. I'm not on this channel as frequently, so look for me on my other channel, my Bible channel. Until then, guys, take it easy and have a good night.